Hello everybody, welcome back to another video by DissociaDID. This is Jade, and today I'm going to be answering questions that were given to us by our patrons. And they asked us to make a video on what my role is like as gatekeeper of the system. A gatekeeper alter is an alter that can have various roles within a system. Mainly, they either are able to control who has access to what memories, or who has access to the front. Sometimes, if there is a switch that needs to happen, or somebody who needs to be blocked from the front, a gatekeeper alter may be more able than other alters to control who has that access and who doesn't. My role is less like that in my system. My role is more to do with memories and controlling and removing memories. So for example, if Nin, or in the past Chloe, were to have a flashback that they weren't ready to handle yet, that we as a system were not ready for the repercussions of yet, I am responsible for removing that memory from her consciousness. That's not to say that this is always successful, and it's not an easy thing to do, but I do have control of memory filing. I'm also able to control who accesses what areas of the inner world. Some gatekeepers may literally gatekeep within the inner world, control who can access what subsystems or what structures in the inner world. Perhaps they may guard specific objects or alters. I guard all of these things. I control who has access to the dungeons, who has access to the carousel, who has access to the basement, and nobody has access beyond the carousel except me and one of our persecutors, Demon. Only Demon and I are able to access the carousel. There is a door that floats in the center of the carousel. To everybody else, this door looks black. To me and Demon, this door looks red and we are able to pass through it. I live in a cave and it is my home. I'm not ashamed of it. I guard the mouth of the cave, the tunnels beyond the cave, which connect to the basements, and the dungeons. I am responsible for allowing nobody except those I choose in or out. I guard and protect the alters who are still dormant. Let's call it dormant. It's a unusual kind of dormant. Different than the kind that the alters who are in the loft of the mansion experience their dormancy. I am responsible for those in the basement, and those trauma holders and emotional parts who are in the dungeons, and keep the awareness of them away from other alters. As a gatekeeper, my role is important. High stress, high demand. Often gatekeepers of other systems are around the front, especially if they are the type of gatekeeper that can help control and facilitate switching. I am not an alter like that, but I'm almost always aware of what is going on emotionally within the system and those who are at the front. This means that I am able to tell relatively quickly whether Nin or somebody else who is fronting is having a flashback, and whether it is okay or not for them to keep hold of those memories. I have to make decisions quickly. I'm also a trauma holder. Lots of gatekeepers are trauma holders. It's not unusual for gatekeepers to be non-human or ageless. I'm not non-human, but I am ageless. I did age and grow for a time. I was raised by Ruby, essentially. I am also the most protective in terms of vocalizing for the system. I have a very sharp tongue. I can be very firm, and I'm also told that I can be quite unnerving because of how direct I am. I do not pull punches. I say what I mean, and I choose my words very carefully. I do not say anything that does not need to be said. Part of my role as a gatekeeper is to guard, as I said, places, objects, and alters, as well as controlling memory filing, who has access to the front on occasion. My job is vast and delicate, but gatekeepers are incredibly stabilizing to systems. If Kyle is the first level of command within our system, then I am his second in command. We consider ourselves equals. His role is much more front-facing, interacting with people from the outside world, whereas mine is much more protecting from the inside. I protect alters from each other. I protect us from our own memories. I protect from the realities of the abuse that we experienced, and the trauma that came separately and resulted from that. It is significant. I'm glad that Nin, as she is now, has more experience of what it's like to be within the system, especially on the lower levels, because she was once Nina. And Nina was a sexual protector, and in some instances she was a persecutor. I still hold back some of Nina's memories from Nin. Not all, but enough. This also means that I am aware of a lot. I have experienced abuse myself, and I have witnessed, understood, or filed memories of abuse and trauma for other alters. I know I may come across as harsh, but I'm not vindictive. I'm bitter, but I'm logical, and I am measured, and I have to be. As a gatekeeper, that is integral to be able to do my job effectively, correctly. There is little room for error. I want Nin to know she was asking a lot of me to make this video. Presenting as ageless, I don't know if I'm immortal, but I certainly don't age anymore. And I also would not say I am an emotionless part, not as strong as others, for certain, but I do feel emotion. But I believe that being ageless and having less emotion not only is helpful for me doing my job as a gatekeeper, but necessary due to the amounts of trauma and abuse I have seen and witnessed on behalf of others and experienced myself. This is perhaps a way to cope, and it is not something I consciously chose, but it is who I am. I do not often leave my cave, or the tunnels, or the dungeon, or the basement, or the carousel, or beyond. I do not tend to leave the mansion. I'm present in the front room often, as and when is needed, but I do not tend to step foot outside the mansion. My job keeps me very much in the center of our internal world, and the lower, darker areas of it. Some people consider the idea of a internal world to be like a fairy tale or a happy dream, but on the surface perhaps it may seem like that. There are lower, darker parts. Perhaps this is not the same for every system. As Nin is always repeating, every system is unique, and that is true. But in our experience, the inner world is a difficult place to be. There are a few places that are light, pleasant, calming, but many are dark. In the basement, I do not wish to trigger anybody, but perhaps in another video, if necessary, if I deem it safe, I can discuss why the dungeon exists, and what is in there, and what is in the basement, how that works. I cannot discuss the psychology behind names or the carousel, and I will not discuss what is beyond the carousel. I can tell you that inside the carousel is where I do memory filing. It is where the mainframe is most active. It is full of computer systems, backups, huge filing cabinets, but I will not discuss further than that. I hope that this has shared some insight for you. I'm not comfortable discussing further. Nin has asked a lot of me by requesting that I film this video, but I would not do something that I was not okay with. I hope that this has been interesting. Please let us know if you would like to see anything further, or if you require further clarification, or if you wish to know more about my personal experiences. Again, I will take these on a case-by-case basis, and I make no promises. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and click the bell button if you would like to see more. Lots of love, everybody. Goodbye.